Hi everyone, my name is Allison Johnson, and I'm just going to do a brief introduction here and talk about a little bit about myself, about my background, about my experiences, and what happened in my life, and go from there. So, my name is Allison. I was not born Allison. I was born under a different name. I was born under my dead name, which I'm not going to say yet. Um, I grew up, I had a really rough childhood growing up. I grew up poor. My mother lived in a trailer um, for a better part of half of my childhood. And my dad kind of crashed at my uncle's and my grandma's before buying a house way far away. So my parents ended up divorcing when I was 10, and that caused a lot of trauma. And from a young age, I knew I was a girl. So I always knew I was a girl growing up. And my family was not okay with being transgender. I did not even know what that was until I went to college later on in life. Um, my dad, he raised me to be super religious and a Christian, but in kind of a toxic way. And that, like, if you don't do this, this, or this, you go to hell. He was very controlling growing up, and he was also very angry, and he still is angry, and it's hard for him to forgive others, especially my mother. Um, and still to this day, he has a lot of angst with his family. Just my family's been pretty chaotic overall. So that pushed me away from the church. My mother, she tried to get me into the church, but it just wasn't for me when I was younger. So I grew up in the world, you can say, um, from about 10 years old and on until something happened to me about a year ago. So I had a relatively chaotic upbringing, but pretty liberal, um, going from the age of about 10 upward. So something happened to me a year ago. I was in a meeting with my HR manager at a company I used to work for, and I had this experience where I died and I came back to life. And during that experience, I realized I was an angel. Now I know what you're thinking. How is that possible? Well, anything is possible. With God, anything is possible. So, after having that experience and everything that came with it, I started going to the Catholic Church. And I tried working through the Catholic Church for the last year. I've been going in and out of this church every Sunday that I can. I missed a couple, but I try my best. And I've been trying to get these priests to understand at the Catholic Church that I am an angel, that I have these experiences, things happen. Okay, I'm here to tell you, there's other angels on this earth too. I've met them, I've talked to them, I've made them consciously aware of who they are. And we're out here, okay? God has a plan to take this world back peacefully. The book of Revelation does not have to happen. Okay, the story does not have to end. But we're trying to take it back peacefully by waking people up. Because there's people out there just like me. They get tossed into the medication loop, the psychoanalysis loop. They go in and out of mental hospitals. But there's nothing really wrong with them, medically speaking. They're just dealing with demonic influence in their life, which is exactly what happened in my life. Throughout my whole entire life, I was attacked, possessed, and led to a life of chaos because of demons. And how do you ask yourself, how is an angel possessed by a demon? We can get more into that later. But I'm telling you, we're taking this world back. The spiritual revolution has already started. It started a year ago. And we are going to take this country back, because I live in the USA, which is the freest country on earth. We're going to take this world back. And you can do that by talking to me, You can leave a comment down below. You can message me. If you can relate to this, I would love to hear about your stories, because medication is not going to solve your problem. You need spiritual help. And that's the message of this video. And that's a little bit about me. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask me. I will be releasing more videos as time goes on. Thank you. Bye.